Thank you for joining us for our Q4 and full year 2024 earnings call. As always, you guys submitted some questions, so we want to take an opportunity to answer those. The first question came in from Matt Carver, which is, does Hyliion have future plans to sell electricity rather than selling Carnot generators to customers? So this is a model. It's called setting up a power purchase agreement with the end customer, where they would actually pay us for every kilowatt hour of electricity that we deliver, as opposed to buying the asset outright. That is not the approach we're going to market with. We are selling the asset to the end customer, and then they get to experience that low-cost electricity benefit. The next question was, can you share more about the backlog of over 100 units and the 70 megawatts of data center opportunity? Yeah, so big takeaway here is we are seeing a lot of customer interest and a lot of customer excitement in the product, which equated to we've established LOIs and contracts for over 100 Carnot generators worth of units. In addition to that, one of the LOIs was with a data center provider, and it's the first deployment of our 2 megawatt system that we are developing. So inside that will be 10 Carnot shafts, Carnot generators. And then that same LOI actually lays out a multi-year opportunity for the deployment of up to 70 megawatts worth of power, which, to equate that to Carnots, that is 350 of our 4-shaft Carnot generators. So big takeaway, as I mentioned, a lot of interest coming in, and we're thrilled and excited to have a strong partner in place on the data center side, because we see this as one of the strong growing markets in our sector. Next question came in from Jason Meeker, which is, I'm curious about Hyliion's plans for deploying Carnot generators. Specifically, what percentage of units do you expect to lease versus sell outright?
Yeah, great question. So let me maybe first describe the lease model, which is used by some generator manufacturers to deliver their product. And that's where we would continue to own the asset, and then we would rent or lease it to the customer, who would pay us monthly payments just for use of the asset itself. And at the end of that lease term, we would continue to own the generator, and we could either release it, renew the lease, or sell the asset to somebody else. We don't plan that initially. We plan outright sales to customers. And when we do that, we typically will get a deposit up front when the order is placed, a bigger payment once the generator is delivered to the customer, and then a final payment once it's accepted by the customer. So I think the short answer to the question is, initially we expect 100% sale of generator units.
The next question is, in the Q4 report, it states the company faced primarily 2 challenges related to key contract manufacturer and the processing of printed components. Can you provide more details on this? Absolutely. So let's break it down into 2 different buckets. So the first was some challenges with setting up our contract manufacturer for our linear electric motor. That's the center portion of the Carnot generator with the coils and magnets where it actually produces electricity. A couple of years ago, or a while ago, we decided let's move that to being Hyliion IP, Hyliion designed component. We built the initial ones of those linear electric motors in-house, but as we went forward, we decided let's move this to a contract manufacturer, and they would produce them and deliver them to us. We found that setting that production process up took longer. There were some learnings through it all, and so we didn't actually receive initial units from them. It got pushed into early 2025. But the good news is that's now underway, and as we go forward, we have the opportunity to continue to improve it and scale up the pace of deliveries. The second one was with one of the components inside the generator. We found that it had residual powder left over from its manufacturing process that we hadn't fully cleaned out during post-processing. So as we were running this generator, we found that there was like loose powder inside the genset. Obviously not something you would want, and so we traced it back to this one part. We've since improved the cleaning process of those parts. That seemed to have worked, so now we've got the systems back in the generator, but we still think there's opportunity there, and so we're going to continue to work to refine that. So the next question came in, it was from Brent, which is there a residual income from the deployment of the generators?
Yeah, I'll take that one. So when a generator is deployed, there are other revenue streams that could be associated with it, like, say, site preparation, engineering work, commissioning of the generator, and then also ongoing maintenance. So we think the ongoing maintenance is an opportunity for us. Now, that being said, the generator is designed to have very low maintenance expense, but there will be services that need to be done, for example, changing air filters, recharging the helium tank, providing some spare parts if needed. So we do see that as an opportunity as we roll out more of these generators to customers. Great question.
All right, and the last question, which is more of a technical one, came in from Hyliion, which is, for that linear rod inside the motor moving at 20 cycles per second, how does Hyliion control and track the rod position? So this is actually something we adjusted when we moved to our own in-house design. We're using a new mechanism. It's actually a redundant system that's using magnets to figure out exactly that location of the, or magnetic field to figure out that exact location of the linear rod. And we found this to be an extremely effective mechanism for doing that. And so we have very precise knowledge of where the rod is. Now, what's exciting about this is one of the biggest controls algorithms in the whole Carnot generator is how do you effectively and efficiently capture energy as you're slowing that rod down, but then release it to go back the other direction so that then you can do that again. And what's exciting about this is that's a process that we can continue to refine and evolve, and we even have the ability to do over-the-air software updates that would enable us to, for the years ahead, continue to improve that as we can, squeak efficiency and performance benefits out of the generator. So where we are today is we've made this first delivery of an early adopter unit. That unit's going to the Navy. It's staying in Ohio. We're going to go through additional testing, validation. There's parameters and tests the Navy has given us that we're going to run on that generator. At the same point, as we go forward here, we're going to be delivering more early adopter units. Some of them will stay in Ohio. Some of them will go to end customer destinations. And the whole goal of this program is we expect there are going to be learnings, right? Anytime you're rolling out a new product, there's things to refine, to improve, to make better. We've allowed ourselves time this year to actually roll in improvements as we learn them from customers. It's inevitable there will be things that we learn. And so we're at that phase right now where we're just starting to make early deliveries of those units. We'll continue the testing and validation, continue to refine and improve them, and then all that leads to our plan is later this year we'll be in a position where we can kind of do the official commercial launch of the Carnot generator for the years ahead. So appreciate all of you joining us for today's call, and we look forward to chatting again on our next earnings call.